welcome, and thanks again for your hospitality. And you can begin your testimony when you want to. Okay.
Thank you. And good morning. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of our distinguished guests, the House Judiciary Committee. We are thrilled to be hosting this hearing at Bishop McDevitt this morning. I think it's very appropriate that the site of this hearing is a school. With all the advances in technology and the advent of Facebook and Twitter and all the social media, which can be good, has created a whole host of issues and concerns for law enforcement, for schools, and for other organizations. Over the last several years, we, as a school, and I dare to say all schools, I don't think there's anyone who is exempt, have struggled with problems that have arisen as a result of social media. And we're really traveling in uncharted waters. So House Bill 1163, and hopefully other bills like it, will provide much needed support and guidance for us as we struggle with these issues in school. Representing Bishop McDevitt today is Sarah Begley, one of our sophomore students. She's a wonderful young woman, and she has her own story of cyberbullying to tell. Sarah?
Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Sarah Bigley, and I'm a 10th grade student here at Bishop McDevitt High School. Since I was 11 years old, I've presented at local, state, national, and international educational technology conferences, both virtually and in person. I have won many awards, such as first place at the Pennsylvania State Middle School Computer Fair in the web page design category in 2009, second place in the multimedia category the following year. In 2009, I won an international award when the EduBlog Awards named me as Best Student Blogger. Due to my passion for history and the American Civil War, I was named the 2012 Future Leader Award winner for the Pennsylvania Council for the Social Studies. I have been interviewed for newspapers and magazines and have been published 3 times in an educational technology publication. All of this recognition came about because of the project I created in 2009 for the Pennsylvania Middle School Computer Fair called Civil War Sally. Civil War Sally is a donated boys fair from Gettysburg who travels around looking for Civil War battlefields, museums, and schools learning about the Civil War. Sally reports back to home by writing blog posts daily and posting pictures to Flickr. I became known as Civil War Sally because she took off from the first day she went live at the Pennsylvania Educational Technology Expo and Conference in 2009. From there, I began presenting on my Civil War Sally project and creating global projects, first with my teacher friend, Mr. Brandon Lutz, and then on my own. I became very quote-unquote famous in the educational and teacher world. I was speaking and presenting to educators about Civil War Sally and how to create a global project. Because of this project, I have met people from around the world and have gotten to see places that people would normally not be able to see, including being given a private tour of Ford's Theater and Clara Barton's home. It was because I was presenting and winning awards that one of my friends got jealous and cyberbullied me. As you know, cyberbullying is the bullying that takes place using electronic technology. Cyberbullying has taken what used to happen on the playground to the internet. The playground bully is now the cyberbully. While kids who are being cyberbullied are often bullied in person, they have a much harder time getting away from it. Cyberbullying can happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Cyberbullying messages and images can be posted anonymously and then quickly sent to others. It can be difficult and sometimes impossible to trace the source. In the research report, Feeling Safe, the Girl Scouts Research Institute found that 46% of girls define safety as not having their feelings hurt. Girls who face cyberbullying or the threat of cyberbullying do not feel safe. Also, 32% of girls said their number one concern was a fear of being teased or made fun of. And 38% of girls surveyed worry about their emotional safety when spending time with their peers. Also, more girls than boys get cyberbullied, and girls my age are the ones who are most likely to cyberbully. Today, teens live in a world filled with technology and social media, everything from Facebook and Twitter to Instagram and Tumblr. In addition to connecting with families and friends, teens can follow their favorite celebrities and artists. Teens can also join online groups centered on their favorite musical group and discuss the band's latest songs with others from around the globe. However, the internet can have a dark side. Cyberspace poses a number of other threats to young girls, such as online sexual predators, inappropriate sharing of information, and the disturbing new trend of sexting. There are many heartbreaking cases when we hear stories about girls like Megan Meyer, Phoebe Prince, and Alexis Pilkington, each of whom ended her life after unrelenting bullying, including cyberbullying. Fortunately, my story did not get that bad. I'm here today because I was the victim of cyberbullying. In class, a girl who I thought was my friend would say mean things to me or about me behind my back when I talked about presenting or the things I was doing. From this traditional bullying, the girl took it online. At first, she made an online quiz and sent it to my classmates and my friends. The questions were, who is the weirdest, who's the teacher's pet, and who does this stupid thing with the bear? The correct answer to those questions were my name. Many of my friends took the quiz, and when I learned about it, I spent the next few days crying and wondering why she would do this. The girl was supposed to be my best friend. I learned that I couldn't trust anybody. My parents talked to the girl's parents, and they promised it would end and never happen again. That only lasted a few months until the girl again sent messages to me online and started talking about me in school. This time, my parents told the school, and the girl only got 3 days of in-school suspension, and her parents said she was grounded. She was only upset that she missed the basketball playoffs. Her parents even got mad at my parents for involving the school. Because the school did nothing, I was forced to switch schools. During my 8th grade year, I was cyberbullied again, but this time my parents stopped it right away. The girl and I were in a group for a science project. The project required for us to build a mudslide, and I had asked my Discovery Channel education friends what we would need to do to get a good grade. She said something on messaging on Facebook and finished it off with, "in your face." My mom saw it and stepped in. I told the teacher after the project, and she never put us in a group again. This girl continued to post inappropriate remarks about me on my Facebook page and say things about me to her friends online. The school said it was girls being girls and did nothing. This online and in-school harassment continued for months until the end of the year when we graduated to different high schools. While only a minor incident, there was one more that took place this past summer. A neighbor friend and I were planning a sleepover. However, I left the house without telling my parents. Because of this, I was not allowed to sleep over, and she did not like that, and sent a tweet to hundreds of her followers that contained inappropriate remarks about my parents and myself. The girl blocked me on all social media because now her mom knows what she does. After all these negative experiences, I took the advice of one of my teacher friends who told me to turn my story around and become an advocate. So now I'm working with a company from England called the Cyber Smile Foundation, which is making teenagers everywhere aware of cyberbullying. Today I'm online known as the Geeky Girl, and I'm an advocate against cyberbullying. Teachers are now asking me for my opinions on talking to students and asking me if they can share my story. I'm also happy to say that I'm once again presenting to teachers and parents locally and nationally about how to be aware of cyberbullying. And as of yesterday, I was accepted to present at the National Catholic Education Conference on this. I support House Bill 1163 because it will make cyberbullying a punishable offense. But I think that we should make it mandatory for all teachers to attend a cyberbullying training. While the Pennsylvania School Code has information on bullying, the schools are left to create different policies that vary in both the way they are written and implemented. Finally, we need to do more to educate parents, teachers, administrators, students, and other school personnel on recognizing, preventing, and mitigating the effects of cyberbullying. On behalf of my classmates here at Bishop McDevitt High School and myself, I want to thank you for your time and your support on this important topic.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for being here. And it takes a lot of courage in what you're doing and strength. And thanks for what you're doing for all the teenagers across the country, making this cyberbullying aware that it's a serious problem. Any members have questions or staff? Representative Marvin?
Thank you for your testimony. Can you tell us what kind of steps are being taken here that maybe we can use when we're crafting the bill? What steps do they take at Bishop McDevitt to try to address cyberbullying?
When a student is found to be guilty of engaging in activity that would harass or would in any kind demean or degrade a student, and that's done online, that's dealt with very severely here. As I mentioned earlier, we're in uncharted waters, and we need help as far as laws that would support what we're trying to do and what we're trying to put in place. When Sarah mentioned that, many people will just say, it's girls being girls or guys being guys. That's an attitude that we come up against often with parents, with other people who would be involved in the process of dealing with a student who's involved with this kind of thing. So, as far as our discipline code, it would involve no use of internet here. That would be taken away. There would be suspension. There would be involvement with the parents. And if it would continue, that student would be dismissed from Bishop McDevitt.
If, Sister, may I ask, what sort of limitations does a school face? I'm Tom Dimmick, the executive director of the committee. What sort of limitations does a school face in handling some of these situations where, for example, a student is affected by cyberbullying, but it's not happening at the school or with school resources, a school computer, or anything like that, but you're seeing the effects with the student's academic life?
Correct. It's a fine line we walk there, and again, that's why we need the support of bills like this that would make this kind of thing a punishable offense. In many instances, we don't have a leg to stand on. We can deal with things that happen in our building. We can deal with students who use our resources here, our computers, their accounts that they have here. It's difficult. We make every attempt to deal with it when it's brought to us, and it's happening outside. But we do walk a fine line there. It's not always, a black and white issue. And that's when we meet, great resistance from parents and, in trying to deal with this. And I really, it takes all of us. It takes the school. It takes the family. All of us working together to deal with this issue. And while we may have a student who's cyberbullying another, at some point that's going to come around. It's going to come around, and things are going to be turned on them. And we try to help the parents to understand that we don't want it to get to the point where their son or daughter is being harassed. Try to make them understand that if this happens to their son or daughter, they'd certainly want the actions that we're taking to be put in place for their son or daughter also. There are, again, there's much resistance that we meet, and when we have, if we had something like this, we say it doesn't matter where it took place. This is an offense. This is there can be legal action.
This is Ron Mike Kane. I'm legal counsel to the committee. I can tell the frustration that you have as a school administrator in trying to deal with this problem. And because Bishop McDevitt is a private Catholic school, I don't know if you can answer this, but it would seem that you probably even have more tools in the average public school to have available because of implications of government action. If a public school is facing the same type of a problem, trying to address it. Could you comment on that?
I would agree with that. I think it's probably a much harder issue to deal with in the public sector than it is here in the private school. We have a little more leeway. We establish our code of conduct and our our student handbook, which guides how we deal with issues such as this. And you know, if it's in our handbook, you know, we have the ability to enforce that, whereas I'm sure in the public sector it's not the same. So I do recognize that and do realize that it is a choice for the students who come here. And in order for them to come, one of the things we do right in the beginning of the year is, you know, you need to read this handbook, your parents, you need to sign this because this is a contract you're entering into with the school. So, you know, in that regard, yes, it's a bit easier for us.
Representative Sabatino?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a comment for Sarah, and I just want to thank you and for your strength and your determination, and you keep going. You know, it's don't ever be afraid to be smart, because the real joke is on the people that don't try and be smart. So, you know, I just want to say it takes a lot of courage to be up here in 10th grade and to do what you've done and to gone through what you've gone through. So thank you for your courage, and keep going.
Thank you for putting this House bill into effect, because I know if this actually does become a real bill that I will probably drop down and cry, because it makes cyberbullying a punishable offense.
I'd like to acknowledge Representative Regan, York County, who's here with us. Morning. Any other questions? Well, once again, thanks for your time and what you've done here today and what you will continue to do. Thank you very much, sister.
Thank you.